Hello and welcome. Is the music too loud? Is it too loud or is it okay? Hello, John. Hello. Undecided. I'm wearing my jacket now because of before. Okay. Music seems fine. That's great. Okay. So. Okay. So runes. Oh, about. Is that better? See me? See my full face? Okay. So. Excuse me. Okay. So. We have the runes, and I feel like we haven't done this in a very long time. So rune stream, because of how long it feels like it's been, I would probably say that for most people this is going to be current rune. I'm pretty sure it will be current rune for anyone who comes in today. So, but we will go right ahead. Excuse me. We'll go right ahead. We'll get right into it. If we do not get many people, it's okay, because we will just schedule another stream, and maybe we will just do Jan and Leon can have a rune if it's a very short stream. So, excuse me, so sorry. But me dying today, but I'll begin with Jan, and we'll just see how it goes. We'll see if anybody else comes in. And I'll just try to get comfortable in my chair. Okay. So, I have the runes. I have set up as many of you know, I use the white throw in quite a traditional way. It's quite a traditional way to do rune, is to shake them up, drop them onto the white throw. A white sheet. I have a throw. Yeah, it's just kind of a traditional way to do it that way. You do not have to do it that way. Not everybody does it that way, but I do it that way. So we will be doing current runes, because I do believe everyone will be up to current rune by now. So we will do. Jasmine says I can sit for mine for a bit. Okay. So we'll do Jan, we'll do Jasmine, and then we will do Leon. So if that's what you mean, Jasmine, if you don't have very long, we will do you second, sorry. So let's get into Jan, and we'll see who else comes in. So I don't know if I should bother explaining it, because I know that you guys know, but just in case we do have some people, although this is a member stream, you know, public people can come in and they can see. So I noticed, even though the last stream was members, we got a few extra subscribers. So people obviously popped in and saw that maybe they might like to, you know, sit in for other streams. So we'll just explain quickly. I focus on the person's energy as I shake up the bag. I empty the contents of the bag onto the throw, and which is on a flat surface, of course. It's a throw over my table, and then all of the runes that are not upright, if they are on their side or they are face down, they all go back into the bag, and then I intuitively feel which one out of the upright ones is for the person in question, for the person whose energy I'm focusing on. So in a full rune reading, when I do a 6 rune spread, it's less intuitive. It's still intuitive, because you still have to choose where they go on the spread, but generally you do get, you know, more than one rune upright. So if you end up with 6 runes upright, you kind of have your runes for the reading. What I do plan to do one time is to have another camera that's showing the runes actually falling and showing that process. Maybe I will aim to do that if we do a more full runes reading on stream. If we could do maybe not 6 rune because it might take a while, but maybe like, you know, 3 rune, maybe current, future, near future, or something like that. Or current, future, subconscious, something like that. A more full rune reading, and then that will, you know, it'll be a bit nicer to have the camera to show that. But let's get into Jan's rune then. Don't want to blab on too much because you guys in here have seen me do this before. So, focus on Jan. Okay. Okay. There's only 2 possibilities here. So, feeling drawn to that one. Okay. So, let me find the joy. It says joy. So Jan, current rune for Jan. Excuse me. So they are my glittery, not very clear rune there. Okay, so joy. Any blocks will begin to fall away in mind, body and spirit. A meeting place between heaven and earth. Your new clarity may change what you feel at the moment or your ambitions and goals. So you will have clarity. It's a very positive rune because there's clarity, there's joy, of course, it's the joy rune. But the interesting thing about this rune is that sometimes your ambitions and goals do change a little bit. So it's very positive, but with some clarity, sometimes we notice that our ambitions and goals aren't exactly what we thought they were, or we suddenly manifest something that maybe manifests in a slightly different way than we fully intended it to. And but it's for the better in a sense, because it's not so much about, it's not about not getting what you want, but it's about the things that does come to you. When more clarity arises, you're a little bit more, you know, if we're looking at it in terms of love, you know, with Jan here, let's say, for example, actually, no, I don't want to be too biased, so I'll say, let's say in terms of a job, okay. So let's say she's applied for 2 jobs, and her goals, her dreams, her ambitions that she had since she was a child were really to get this one job. But then she ends up getting another job, the other one she applies for, that's slightly different. But then she loves it, you know, it's everything she imagined it wouldn't be. It was the backup plan, but now she loves it more than that original one. So it's not to say that it is totally different, like the options I gave there, totally different. But it's just to say that with new clarity brings a little bit more insight, a little bit more, yes, it's joy, yes, it's going to be very positive. It might not be exactly how you pictured it, but it's going to be very good. So joy rune is very, very good. And of course, not overlooking that, we're also seeing blocks fall away in mind, body and spirit, which is always a really nice message because, you know, when we're giving examples like that, so my example of the job, it's very, very kind of one-dimensional, isn't it? It's like, is it on the job path? Is it on the love path? But with this rune, what we're really seeing is it's mind, body and spirit. So there's blocks falling away in every aspect of the life path. So maybe she is applying for a job while she's focusing on her love path and her spirituality. So it's not pinpointed to that one direction, that one path. It's very affirmative that there's more than just that. It's very holistic. So it's a very nice rune. So, so now it doesn't speak too pinpointedly to, you know, your question, your kind of thing that you're looking for, but it's a positive rune nonetheless. It is a very positive rune. So I hope you enjoy it. I hope that's a good one for you. But do just bear in mind that it doesn't necessarily mean that you're it doesn't necessarily mean that you won't get your goals and ambitions that you have now. It just means that with newfound clarity, they might be a bit different. So they'll still be positive, it'll still be something you want, but it's just a bit positive. Oh yeah, so so I was just giving the job path as an example because I didn't want to be too biased in what I was saying, you know, that's just the example. So it's basically, it's that you are going to get joy. So joy is coming, that positive path is coming, but it might just look slightly different than you're envisioning it now. So I hope that makes sense. You can totally relate it to your love path, and it like I said, with it being blocks falling from blocks falling away from my body and spirit, it is holistic. It isn't just about a job path or a love path or whatever path. It is holistic, but I just wanted to give, I think the job example is a bit more easier to understand than me kind of like fitting it into your specific love path, if that makes sense. So I hope it does make sense. So let's go to Jasmine. Focus on Jasmine's energy here. But I think but just to touch on that message for Jan for a moment, if you do really want to relate it to your love path, I would at least see the blocks falling away in the mind, body and spirit as being very positive, you know? Kind of like what we were saying earlier over maybe us not reconciling after the first heart-to-heart, the possibility of being more up in the air, delayed. Yeah, and not being so cut and dry as that huge confession, but yes, yeah, that could very well relate. But sorry, Jasmine, I'll focus on you now. You're very welcome, Jan. And it's joy, so if we take it at its, you know, the rune meaning, it is positive. Okay, so you have Jasmine here. Now, I will just do a timestamp. I will just do a timestamp in case she is busy. Just enough paper to hand. We're at 15 minutes. Okay, 15 minutes. Okay, so here we have this rune, which I believe it is protection. Let me find it. Oh, good. There we are. Okay. Protection. You may have fast-paced transformation in your current period, if not your near future, and this will come with intense emotions, high and low. Don't escape pain and let it teach you. warrior energy. So something that comes up quite a lot for Jasmine. Warrior energy. So fast-paced transformation. So sometimes fast-paced transformation can be daunting, even if it is very positive transformation. So, you know, going back to Jan's message where it was mind, body and spirit, even if we're having really positive transformation on every path, you know, on our work path, on our love path, on our spiritual path, on our physical health, you know, even if it's all positive, it can be daunting to have so much transformation. So transformation being very fast paced in your current period is not a negative thing, but it can come with it very high and very low emotion, you know, because even if we transform from the past, we can still feel great loss for some things that we're coming from, even if it's heading into a more positive direction. So there is kind of a warning that high emotions may be followed by some low emotions as well. Do bear in mind that there may be pain and there may be low emotion, but it's all about teaching you. So it is all about that process. It is all about that journey, that learning and that journey and learning. But there is still that warrior energy with you that of course is within you, but as well, we must not forget with the protection rune that we are seeing, you know, that spiritual protection, your guides and all of those things. So yes, you have warrior energy, but your guides as well, that spirit family, that spirit team, that those warrior spirits that are helping you as well to come through these periods, to come through these transitional and transformative periods. So I think it's important because I think that many people, especially people like Jasmine, especially people like people in the community who are very open and face their spiritual growth head on, I think that we do kind of recognise that pain is needed sometimes for growth, but it's always nice to be reminded of that sometimes, because when you're in the middle of hurt, when you're in the middle of pain, we can sometimes forget to use that to our advantage, to use that for strength, and to understand that we come through it as well. So sometimes when we're in the middle of it, it can be difficult to understand that we will come through it and that it may be better in the end as well. So no matter what happens, even when you're in that high emotion, absolutely, you know, just fly away and be in your high emotion. But when you do come into that lower emotion and you're still in that transformation, just try to feel that protection around you. The strength of you to protect yourself, but also the guides as well. So don't forget about them as well. So it's that warrior energy, it is about you, but it does extend to your spiritual protection as well with the guides. Jan, I'm just taking it as positive that there will be no blocks and I'm getting what I want. But yeah, blocks falling away is always positive, even if the goal will look slightly different than you might envision it. Protection is always nice. I already feel transformation all around. That's great. Yeah, and protection's always a really nice one to get. I have been feeling the emotional part. I'm used to it. I feel like I handle things better now. Yeah, and that definitely shines through with the warrior energy as well. Been trying to stay mindful and aware in the moment lately. Yeah, and I think that's it's really important to stay mindful and to stay aware in the moment, but also important if you do feel the pain come up to recognise the temporariness of that, you know? So being aware and present, but also being aware that the negative things do pass. So we have Aries as well. Excuse me. So we have Aries as well. Wonderful. Okay. So sorry, Leon will push you down for a moment just while I do Aries. But then I will go ahead and do Leon after Aries there. So I haven't done Leon a reading on stream for a very long time. So let's focus on Aries. And Aries, just in case you weren't here when I mentioned, it's probably going to be a present rune. We're probably all in our present rune now because it's been so long. So present rune will be now. For anyone who doesn't get a present rune, we'll get one in the next one. and maybe time for future runes for some people in the next one as well. So Aries. Oh, sorry, just reading that there. It's funny how this has come up because I've been asking how to handle my emotions. I'm already an intensely emotional person, as is. Yeah, and I think sometimes it's, I mean, yeah, you know, there's always ways to like handle our emotions and to deal with things and all of that. Absolutely, I don't discount that. But sometimes I think it's important to just understand that it's okay sometimes as well, you know, because there can be pressure sometimes when we're very kind of spiritual, empathetic people to always try to be very positive, or not necessarily positive, but to always try to be calm and collected, and you don't always have to do that. And you're very welcome. So yeah, Aries, sorry, I'll focus on Aries. Okay. It's growth. Just take a protection off there. Growth, there we are. There is an aspect of your life that is developing into its next level. Higher commitment, promotion, activation. You are called to practice modesty, patience, fairness, and generosity. This will help you realise which areas you are levelling up in. So a lot of growth going on, perhaps levelling up more in certain areas more than others. So like it said there, just taking a moment perhaps to see which areas you are levelling up in, but very affirmative of growth and of things. Well, improving, it sounds very positive in that sense. An aspect of your life that's developing to its next higher level. And I think it's important as well because it doesn't always seem that way. You know, it's like when people are recovering and things like that, and sometimes we can expect for our, you know, journey to be a constant, steady upward stream, and that isn't always the case. And just because something might have some ups and downs doesn't mean that holistically overall that isn't going upwards, you know? So I think that's a bit of a support kind of message as well. So Leon, let's do a rune for Leon. So just show up for a moment because I just need to. Sorry, Leon. We'll find your one now. So we have the rune of wholeness. Oh. can never find this one. There we are. Wholeness. You're very welcome. So wholeness, Leon. The sun's energy. Wholeness, the sun's energy. So the sun, the rune of the sun's energy. Follow your path with no ulterior motive. Only your individual, unique ideas. What you are striving to become is what you already are. It's within you. Let the sun and spiritual light illuminate your path. You may feel surges of energy. Utilize them in a positive way. If a situation feels off, do not feel guilt about withdrawing. So with this one, I know that, you know, we talk a lot in readings and things like that about intuition, and I'm kind of always encouraging people to use their intuition, of course, but with this, it's really kind of speaking to how sometimes that intuition can seem to defy logic a little bit, and I think that's important, especially with someone like Leon, who does tend to be a bit more on the logical side than that spiritual or intuitive kind of side, if that makes sense. So your logical side might really outweigh your intuition a lot of the time. So when we get wholeness as our current rune, it can be important to just listen a little bit more to that intuition and understand that sometimes if you do want to withdraw from something, hold back from something, don't feel guilt about it, because sometimes your intuition does go against logic or go against what might seem like the best thing at the time, maybe emotionally or something like that. So just be aware of that. But it's pretty positive, surges of energy, following your path with no ulterior motive. So just your individual unique desires, which I also think is quite an important thing in this day and age, because we can sometimes be very influenced and not purposeful, you know. A lot of us don't purposefully get influenced by others or by others' motives or by others' paths, but it can just happen. It can just be kind of subconscious that we kind of start to follow others' paths or others' motives without really thinking. So just sticking to that uniqueness that's within you and tapping a little bit more into your intuition than you might usually do at this time. You're very welcome. So you guys are very, very welcome. So I will wait for a moment. I know there's only 3 people in. I will wait for a moment, and if excuse me, if no one else pops in, then I might just do a future rune for anyone who is still in just a moment. So I will maybe hang on for about 5 minutes. Well, 5's probably a little bit long, to be honest. 1 or 2 minutes or something like that. But if you would like a future rune and you're still here, just comment future now. I may just get to those because, yeah, pretty quick stream. So if anyone's still here and wants a future one, just comment and we will do that. But do bear in mind, if you get your future one now, you may have to sit out the next rune stream. I keep forgetting to say as well when I put this banner up, thank you to the members. We got a new member yesterday or today, I think it was yesterday, Delphine. So it's very nice to see new members come in, always very nice. But I'll just wait for a few more moments. And if it was a short but sweet stream, that's fine. It's always nice to have short but sweet streams as well. And we'll schedule another one very, very soon. Anyway. Wow. So I think that really was the quickest stream in a while. I think I'll pick myself a rune, just in case anybody does pop in. I feel a bit bad because, yeah, half an hour. It's so short. I'll do myself a rune, give anyone else just a chance to pop in, and if anyone is still here, feel free to request your future rune now if you will wish. But I will schedule the next rune stream pretty soon, since we do not have many people in. Okay, focusing on my own energy. So we have the fertility rune. Okay, so you may be called to work with the moon, which I often am. Completion is needed. Make completing things from the back burner a focus now. Complete projects. You should especially not worry about taking risks right now. Doing something that scares you will be good for you. You're a chrysalis and need to emerge a butterfly. Keep humour and keep grounded. So, I actually do feel like this resonates with me quite a lot right now. The fertility rune's very nice because there's a lot of, you know, of course there can be fertility in the natural sense of if someone's conceiving, you know, trying to conceive and all of those things. But there's also fertility in terms of, like it mentions here with, you know, completing things from the back burner. There can be fertility in creativity, you know, fertility in ideas, maybe planting seeds, you know, in that like idea, creative kind of sense. Being called to work with the moon is just very, you know, even though I don't do it too much for myself, I do it for a lot of clients. But yes, so completing things from the back burner. I do have some projects on the back burner that I don't put my main focus into because we have, because for me it's always uncertain how much I will get booked. So if I find myself with a lot of spare time, sometimes I jump onto here, and then the next day I might be fully booked with readings. So it is quite an important message for me to be prompted to complete some projects, to think about those projects that maybe I did leave on the back burner, because there definitely are some. Not worrying about taking risks. It's always nice to have that kind of spiritual safety net, if you will, to be kind of told, you know, risk taking's not too bad right now. You should always do due diligence, and you should always be safe and cautious, of course. But being a little bit more able to take risks at times is good. Doing something that scares you, you know. It's always good to push yourself and push your boundaries sometimes. And I can find myself, even though I'm doing different things every day because I'm working with different clients, one day might be full of readings, one day it might be full of sound healings, one day it might be in-person events, one day it might all be online. It's always different, but it can still get a little bit routine, or a little bit, you know, like for example, candle wax reading. You know, sometimes people suggest things for a long time and I think, yeah, I'll do that eventually, yeah, I'll do that eventually. It's kind of like with the channeling, you know. I do channeling a lot now and even live on stream, but I still very attached to writing my channelings rather than just speaking them. So the thing that scares me might be just speaking my channelings. So yeah, I feel very resonating with this. Keep humour and keep grounded. I need to remember sometimes to keep humour because I am quite a humorous person. I do like to laugh and I do like to be in my light-hearted energy, but sometimes because of the work that I do and the people that I work with, it can be difficult sometimes. I'm not blaming other people, by the way, just in the sense that when you feel a lot of empathy when you're working with people going through difficult things, humour isn't always the first thing, you know, that's coming to your mind. You can be very caught in that empathy, caught in that lower, not low emotion because I do stay high energy, but being very empathetic and caring about people and being kind of into what they're going through and very, you know, heartfelt kind of thing as opposed to light-hearted. So that resonates with me, definitely resonates with me. So, short but sweet stream there, guys. Very nice to see the few of Miss Venus, hello. So I was just about to jump off. That's so funny. I was just about to jump off. I actually read for me and Leon just in case anyone wanted to pop in. So I will do you a rune now. Very nice to see you. I just finished reading for myself. That was my reading. So let's focus on Miss Venus. Let me just get a drink, sorry. Yeah, and I was just saying as well, Miss Venus, I think these will be, for all of us, I think these are current runes at the moment, aren't they? I don't think anyone's had a current rune for a long time. So I think it will be current rune for you. Just find it here. Possessions. So we have possessions here. Important to note that it's upright. Fulfillment, ambition satisfied holistically, spiritually, emotionally, and physically. If you feel fulfilled in one area more than another right now, open up and think of conserving gifts as well. So it's an interesting rune because it's the rune of possession. So we can sometimes think of it like that we are kind of more in our physical, you know, our physical achievements, our physical goals and all of those things. And I do tend to lean towards this when this comes up in a reading for someone, although it does express that a spiritual, emotional and physical aspect to it. You may notice that in this current period, your physical manifestations are rarely coming through. So it's not to say that another area takes a back seat. So it's not to say that your spiritual manifestations or your spiritual kind of progression is going to take a back seat. But there definitely is a physical possession aspect to this. So, for example, if you've been, you know, trying to manifest a car or a house or something that's very physical, it's very likely to come within this current chapter or be more that light in the end of the tunnel in this chapter. So the physical things. So, and that of course that can extend to like a partner as well, a physical person. But do bear in mind that's spiritual, emotional and physical. So it's not to say that any area takes a back seat, but it is to say that physical possessions may be at the forefront at the moment. So, you know, you may be given gifts, you know, it could be just that you're a bit more in the physical at the moment. So being given gifts, being, like I said, if it was a house, a car, something like that, sometimes they are at the forefront, but there is a holistic aspect to this rune. So it's not, like I said, it's not to say it's all physical. There's still a balance, but you may notice more physical things coming to you. So if you feel fulfilled in one area more than another right now, open up and think of conserving gifts as well. So this is something that I do touch on quite a lot, and that we do all touch on in the community quite a lot, is that conserving gifts and conserving our gifts, our abundance, our energies. So for example, when I talk about manifesting a lot, and this can speak to physical manifestation, if you're, for example, so talking about your new job here, if you are manifesting a new job and then you get it, but your true goal is to maybe rise up, maybe to have a bit more abundance, maybe to have a side hustle as well, you know, if there's more than just this one thing that you want out of this, if you do want a promotion, if you do want, like I said, a side thing, it's to give gratitude for that thing that you are currently getting, that physical thing that is currently coming to you, give gratitude for that, and then keep going, because it's that nice cycle of keeping going as well. So yeah, your new job, more financial freedom, manifesting more abundance, and more abundance in my new life. A huge transition for me, yes. So it's definitely much more of a positive omen in terms of physical, but it's, like I said, it's not to imbalance. It's not to imbalance any other area, and it's certainly not to, yeah, there's not to imbalance is probably the best way to say it. It's not to imbalance any other area, but it is to recognise that the physical things are probably going to come through quite strong in this period. So that's really good. That's really great. I think we all need that, because I think that it's easy when you're a spiritual person to overlook that side of your life, to kind of think, you know, my spiritual abundance, my connections are more important to me. I'm not too concerned about my material abundance, but you should be. We should all have balance, and we should all have what we deserve. So that's a really positive one for you. So again, just to reiterate, there is balance, but you may notice the physical things coming through a bit more in the current chapter. So love, light and blessings. Thank you guys who did 10 up. Life is expensive where I live. Yeah. But you deserve abundance anyway, regardless. Yeah, I think it's important. I think that balanced people are more spiritual as well, in a sense, because you do have to recognise, it's like, you do have to recognise that we have the 3D life for a reason. You're not just in the spiritual life, you're not just in the spiritual realm, you're not just, you know, in Octorus right now. You are in this physical 3D realm, so you deserve abundance, and you should get it. Yeah, you did come in time. It's a really, really quiet stream today, so, but that's fine, because I am going to do another one soon. We only had, so Jan, Jasmine, you and Aries, so there's many more members to have a rune reading, so there definitely will be another one, and I'll do it a bit earlier, make it longer, so if anyone else who has been on today wants a future rune, you can also attend that one. And just remember, if you've been on today, it's your future rune next time. Just remember that. But I think I will leave it there. So really nice to have a short and sweet stream. If you do catch this late, if you do watch this back and catch it late, well, I will just make a post actually, because I don't think anyone's going to get to the end of the video. But yeah, Leon got a rune today. Amazing. So So yeah, nice short and sweet rune reading today. Do expect another one. If you had your current rune just now, you can get your future rune very soon. Love, light and blessings to each of you. Keep a look out for the community tab whilst we do some polls about the streams coming up. And you're very welcome. You're very, very welcome, guys. Love, light and blessings to you.